Hello and welcome, and thank you both so much for being here. Miss Cunningham, thank you for giving up your valuable time. We've heard great things are happening in the choir room. Could you explain a bit about what you're doing when you're working with the musical and choir and our performers here?
Sure. I'm trying to get them to be a little more aware of correct breathing, posture, and how to apply that to then also real music, so that exercises are usable for what you actually do when you're singing a song, and not just something, okay, I learn technically something, and then when I sing, that has no relevance. And I'd really like to put those things together. So that's the aim.
How much progress have you seen in the students since you first came?
Well, I see the progress within the hour or hour and a half that I see them, because unfortunately I only get to see them, well, fortunately überhaupt, that I get to be here at all and work with so many great young singers, but I'm only getting to see each class once. So, but still, I see in that time, in an hour and a half, really some progress, that they understand a little more about breathing, the voices get stronger, and there's more understanding of what they're doing. At least I'd like to think that.
Where would you call home and where your business is located?
Home is where I am at any given moment. But my main teaching place and my main living place is Berlin, Germany. I'm originally American. I am still American. I'm originally used to live in the States, but now I live in Berlin, and that's where I teach, but I also teach in 5 or 6 different cities in Germany and in Copenhagen and now in Dubai.
So what's your background as a vocalist or some of the professional productions you've been in?
I went to Carnegie Mellon. Well, I started taking voice lessons when I was 13 years old. And my parents luckily realized that they knew I loved to sing and that I had a voice. So they organized for me to get voice lessons from the time I was 13. And then I did the auditions for music school, and I got accepted at Carnegie Mellon University. And I got my degree I got 3 degrees from Carnegie Mellon University, a degree in vocal performance, a degree in education, and then an opera degree in opera, a master's degree in opera performance. And then I came to Germany and did a summer course there in Austria, the American Institute of Musical Studies. It's a 6-week program to teach young singers how to audition in Germany, because it's a big difference from auditioning in America to Germany. And then I got my first professional engagement in Vienna at the Kammeroper, and then I was engaged at the Opera House in Hildesheim, in Münster, and in Rudolstadt, all of those cities in Germany, 2 in West Germany, and then when the wall came down, I sang in East Germany, and I sang different operas in all of these opera houses. And then I did an audition and got accepted into the cast, the first premiere cast of Beauty and the Beast, oder Die Schöne und das Biest, because we did it in Germany, in German, in Stuttgart. So I was in that professional Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast for 3 years. The opera singers are different from musical singers. Not better or worse, just different. So it was really exciting to be a part of that, and also to learn what it is to do an 8-show week, because as a professional musical singer, you're doing 8 shows a week. And the only day you get off, at least in Germany, was Monday. So to really learn about that and be with those young singers was a real challenge and really great fun.
So what do you find rewarding about your job?
Oh, gee, lots of things. Hearing a change in a singer's voice, really hearing that they're able to sing more strongly, that they're able to articulate better, that they're able to tell a story more. For me, singing is about speaking, about telling a story, about emotionally being involved with what you're saying. And the moments when I see that happen, when I see this emotional connection to saying something and therefore the voice is better, that's unbeatable. That's really a great, great moment. And luckily it happens fairly often, so that's great.
Aside from singing, what other passions do you have?
Cooking. I love to cook. I love to bake. I'm a big baker. I do lots of cookies at Christmas and make 20 different kinds of cookies. And I actually kind of bribe my neighbors. So I always give them a nice little bag of cookies because they don't complain about the singing in the apartment. So that's, it's bribery, but it works. So, yeah.
Have you ever been to the Middle East or Dubai before?
This is my 4th time, actually. Miss Lauer and Miss Ray, Susanna and Julia, organized that I come down because I work with them as professional singers in Germany, and they explained that they were here and worked here and were able to set up some sessions for me to come here. So I was here a year ago, and then this is, I think, my 4th time. So the first time I actually got to see a few things in Dubai, and that was really fun to see the Burj Khalifa, I think it's called. We went up to the top, and we were down to the creek, and over to the souks, the spice souks, because of course I like to bake, so I wanted cinnamon and nutmeg and a few other things. And that's been really great. And of course, there's lots more to see, so hopefully I'll come back and see more. I think music in general is really important for everything. It enhances concentration. I believe this. I hope someone does a study someday that people who make music, and especially people who sing, don't get Alzheimer's as much as other people because our brains are working on so many levels. It's multitasking to the max. You're using right, left brain, you're concentrating, you're using your eyes differently, especially when you're on stage like Seth is. Mm-hmm. You're watching the conductor and you're watching your neighbors. You're constantly changing focus just physically with your eyes. There's so many things going on, and it's so healthy. And I think it's so great that a school supports that, just also by having a musical. But I'm very grateful that I'm able to come in and work with young people and hopefully infuse that kind of excitement about singing.
Thank you so much. Also with us today is Seth, who's actually in the musical. So, how have you learned to improve your singing from her?
Well, I've been taking voice lessons for about 2 years now, and this is, as she said, this is her 4th time here, and every time she comes, I learn more information. I learn how to improve. I learn new techniques that I can apply every time I sing, and it's just a great experience. Like, I learn a lot about forward resonance, like singing here and opening up. And when I first started, I had a lot of trouble going deep into my body, and now I'm having trouble coming back out. But now it's like I learn so much every time she comes, and it's just it's great to gain more practice, you know.
So aside from the musical, where else will you be using the practices and things you've learned?
Everywhere. That's a simple answer. And she's given us a lot of practices that we can do, like when we're in the car or when we're in the bathroom. Just simple, basic things that we can do to practice all the time. And I will always use my vocal technique, and I'm always trying to implement it whenever I'm singing choir or whenever I'm doing a solo or whenever I'm practicing in the musical, because it's just it's always helpful to practice this because if I practice more, hopefully it'll get into my body, and then I don't have to think about doing it to do it.
So, what's the most significant or most important thing that you've learned from her, in your opinion?
That's hard. There's so much that I've learned. Well, one thing that's really significant is when I was struggling to open up and be deep, I was really clenching. And when she came, she taught me all these different techniques I can do to release. And instead of clenching and letting my fear of doing something stop me, I let myself go and I surrendered control. And she also gave some tips to Susanna, and Susanna helped me continue with that. And so it's really something that I was really closed off, and now I'm more open now, and thanks to her, basically.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And before we go, Miss Cunningham, would you be willing to sing something? Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Now, I have been teaching all day. Don't start with it. I will not start with an apology. We'll just go from where it is. Märchen schreibt die Zeit immer wieder wahr, eben kaum gekannt, dann doch zugewandt, unerwartet klar. Wandel nur zu zweit, ehe es sich verschließt. Erst war beiden bang, dann ganz ohne Zwang. Die Schöne und das Biest.
Wow. You're very
Yeah.
talented.
Thank you.
Well, thank you both so much for being here, and thank you for helping all the students learning new skills that they can take later on in life.
It's a pleasure.
Also, we are really looking forward to seeing these students put their new skills to the test in the upcoming musical Crazy for You, November 3rd to 6th, in the choir concerts later this year. And everyone who watched, please tune in to the ASD News channel to see the student news. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.